Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and I am back with some daily race A action from last week's Fuji race. It was actually a really good combo in terms of car and track. However, a lot of drivers ruin this combination with their complete lack of respect for how you should be racing. Now, I do understand there is no SR in this race. That does not mean you drive like an absolute donkey. Now remember, if you do enjoy this content, do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, let me know in the comments what your experience has been with Daily Race A, because I'm interested to know, are you getting the same experience with Daily Race A? Do you think this Daily Race A is creeping into other daily races as well, where people are learning bad habits from this race, as we keep an eye on the blue Subaru in front of us, going for an absolute savage send into turn one, wiping the silver Subaru out of the race pretty much into the side there, and he's going to rejoin just in front of me. Now we're going to go down the right hand side of this right hand Subaru. However, he's going to get hit by another Subaru who just doesn't give him any space, pushed into the side. Luckily I avoid that. That other Subaru then rams into the black Subaru, who rams into the silver Subaru. Now that silver Subaru catches it but doesn't really look at his rejoin on the track and sideswipes the side of my car. Now luckily we do pay attention to how we rejoin the track, so I keep the drift going through this grass, making sure I'm turning and keeping it just to rejoin on the inside there and don't wipe anyone else. At least we rejoined quite safely. But yeah, the driving standards have gone massively down in Daily Race 8, and I believe it's because there is no SR in this race. Now, I'm not a massive Daily Race A driver, but I have done a lot of Daily Races A's over the years on GT7 and GT Sport. And as far as I remember, when SR was on, they were not this bad. Again, as we see here, I think IDAS is going to slightly miss his braking, and he's also going to go for a bit of a hit on the inside there. He hits the driver that absolutely murders someone at turn one, and that's probably going to be a penalty for IDAS, I think there. So 2 penalties received so far. I think actually IDAS only got a track limit penalty. Again, highlighting the penalty problems on this game. Really, IDAS should have picked up at least a 5 seconds for that one, I think. And again, other cars not getting them as well in this race. So again, into the braking zone here, and we're going to keep an eye on P3. The guy with the penalty is actually one of the worst drivers you're going to see in this whole group of races that I'm going to show you. It's not just one race, as again, that white Subaru goes a little bit sideways, clips into the side of the blue Subaru. Not too bad. Now, I think little contact like that is you've got to kind of accept it in these cars. They were quite sketchy in terms of the sliding. You're going to get a little bit of side-on contact, you know, a little bit of touring car style racing, we'll call it. But some of the racing we witness in this is beyond that. And just keep an eye on this driver in P3. He is extremely dirty and deserves a lot of penalties. So we're going to go down the inside. We brake later. He brakes early, and then he comes off the brakes and accelerates into me. You can see it there. Massive acceleration into the rear of my car, and just punts us out the way, and also gives no space on the exit. Now this isn't a one-off occurrence for this driver in P3. This is going to be seen multiple times, and again, look how this is highlighting a penalty issue. A clear as day ram in the rear to push a car out of the way to gain a position, yet no penalty for P3. It's quite frustrating this at the moment. Now, I'm not one for having a penalty system like we've had in the past on GT Sport, where you look at another car and you get 10-second penalty. However, I do feel we need a compromise where clear as day incidents like that should be triggering a penalty on the algorithm, but it's not at the moment, and it's a little bit frustrating. But keep on with this race, as we're going to go around the side of this Subaru on our right hand side. You can see giving him space on the right hand side. We're going to go to the left. Now just keep your eye on P3 though, because he's very, very dodgy all the way through this as we go into this corner side by side. I think we gave the space to P5 there. Now they're going to go and battle it out up ahead. Now there is going to be another incident up ahead with that black Subaru again. Keep your eye on the blue Subaru. He just pushes him, and watch what he does. He runs him wide and gives him no space on the exit there, and nothing Brandon can really do there. Now keep your eye on the white Subaru behind me in the mirror. He comes off the brake here and just accelerates into us. Now, I'm not sure that was totally deliberate, but it pushes us into that silver Subaru. Now, the silver Subaru might think that was me ramming him, but it wasn't. We got hit. And keep your eye on the mirror again. He just comes straight at us into the inside, rams us out the way. And again, it wasn't. We got hit from behind. And yeah, all kinds of chaos, retaliation and stuff like this. And now keep your eye on that black Subaru again up ahead. The car that is causing a lot of chaos in these races. Again, you're going to see as the white Subaru, luckily, in fairness to the white Subaru, he misses his braking and he avoids the silver Subaru in front of him. So credit to him for actually taking avoidance action. I think we need to give credit to these people that actually do get out of the way of cars and make sure they don't wipe them out. So credit to that white Subaru for actually avoiding causing a massive pile up there. However, we're not going to give any credit to this black Subaru in front of us because he's a massive donkey. And yeah, I think he should have had at least, probably in this video that you're going to witness just today, at least 20-second worth of penalty. However, he doesn't get a single one, and he's clearly abusing the penalty system. PD clearly haven't got a penalty system that's working correctly at the moment. I know that we don't want that savage penalty system that's just going to give out penalties all the time, but maybe there is a a balance between getting contact and deliberate contact and actually picking up penalties. So again, going into the braking zone, keep an eye on his driving now. He's on the inside. He's going to accelerate into us, push us through the corner. And again, another clear as day action. He picks up half a second for a track limit, I think, somewhere, probably for cutting a corner where he's pushing people out of the way. But again, it's clear as day. He's not making any attempt to drive fair. That one would be harder for the penalty system to actually pick up because it's a hard one when they're side by side like that, and he's just gradually rubbing to the side of us and pushing us wide. However, it's still dirty driving, and this is another reason why I think we need the SR system back for contacts. If we can eventually get these drivers into different lobbies like GT Sport days when there'd be in dirty driver lobbies, and you'd have the cleaner drivers racing with the cleaner drivers and most of the dirty drivers racing together, it'd be so much more enjoyable, and I think it needs to happen again. Now this guy gets a penalty there, and that's going to drop him further back and pretty much out of this race, and we managed to get ourselves up into P3 and had a little bit of a battle with P2. He was fair, no real dirty driving from P2, and we managed to get a podium still with what was going on there. However, I wasn't happy with that. We wanted to get a clean race in, and we're going to keep going at trying to get a clean race in on Daily Race A. Is it even going to be possible? So again, we're going to go for that standing start, chaos, and see what happens here. As good start this time, nice straight into second gear. Remember, this car was a short shifter, so more torque on the lower down range. And I'm going to go to the left hand side. I'm not going to go on the inside because you tend to get punted on the inside, so stay to the left, brake early, give space. Again, another hit from the Italian, another absolute side swipe by that driver there in P4. And we get one penalty there for 5 seconds for the light contact. However, P4 with the massive contact on the other car, no penalty. So there's a massive contradictory. Like, P4 did hit the car, but not aggressively hard, got 5 seconds. P4, the driver in P4, completely sideswiped someone, wiped them out of the race pretty much, and he gets no penalty. Now this is where I think if you bring SR in, it's going to make a difference. Now I don't really know if we need driver rating back on in this race. I do think some people would like the driver rating back on in Daily Race A, but at least if you bring SR back, it should make the races a little bit more enjoyable. Just leave DR off maybe, but even then I think maybe bring DR on for, it's a sport mode race, maybe put DR on and put SR on for these races, and hopefully you'll get a cleaner experience. Again, up ahead, keep your eye on that black Subaru running the French driver a bit wide. However, that French driver wasn't the cleanest driver you'll ever see as well, so maybe a bit of retaliation going on there. We're going to see P4, the driver that absolutely sent it before, again hitting the side of the French driver, a little bit dodgy that one, lost momentum as well with drifting the car, and we're going to go up the inside up into P4. So making progress even with the chaos that's going on this lap one, as we're going to have a little look up the inside here. He doesn't get the best exit from that corner, and yeah, we're up into P3. So actually this French driver on the left here isn't too bad. You can see he gives us space there, we give him space on the exit, and that puts us up into the podium position. However, we got the other driver that was being really aggressive before in front of us with a penalty, and we're going to be able to go past him here on the straight because he's got no straight line speed, he's lost speed, and we're going to go past him. However, again, watch this for a clear, deliberate punt and no penalty yet again. So look in the mirror. I know it's a bit sun-glared, but keep your eye on the mirror as we go into the braking zone. You can see him coming through now, off the brakes, straight into the back of me, rams me there, and where's the penalty, PD? Anyone? Can we see it? No, because there is no penalty for a clear as day ram into the braking zone, and I don't understand how that is not a penalty. Should be, but again, we're not seeing them. And I get that there's no SR on this race and it doesn't really matter too much, but there are a lot of people that enjoy road car racing. It's not all about race cars. I prefer race cars. I prefer the Group 3s, Group 2s, the Group 1s, etc. But road car racing can be really enjoyable, especially at a track like Fuji. It's wide, it's got braking zones, it's got double lines, as I think P2 gave up on that one and decided to try and take him out. However, when he takes him out, he slows him down, and that slows my progress down and knocks me back to P6. So a bit frustrating for me, but I can understand where P2, who's been P2 now, why he did that, because he was just being savage. However, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. He gets completely punted back by that black Subaru. And to be honest, take this black Subaru out of this race and it might not have been too bad. Again, we're going to skip to lap 3, and keep your eye on the right hand side. He brakes early. Now watch this, he brakes early deliberately, then comes off the brakes and just lets his car roll into the side of P3, takes that position. And again, I'm not seeing a single penalty here, PD. I'm not sure why we're not seeing the penalty system working at all, but that is now about 4 or 5 clear as day rams into braking zones that he has not received the penalty. It's quite baffling. I don't know why it's like that, but yeah, we do need to start. I think these lobbies need cleaning up, and I think either a rework of the SR system and SR incorporated into this race, because we're seeing this type of racing in Daily Race B as well now, and we're starting to see it creep into Daily Race C. People are realising what they can get away with, and I think it's going to get worse at the moment, because it seems like the SR system doesn't punish enough, as again, we're seeing more blocking going on by this P2 driver, and it makes it frustrating because it makes it very difficult to overtake as well. You can see P3 is very nervous about even trying to go for an overtake. I'm going to go to the left-hand side and try and just see if we can figure a way past, and someone just decides to end that driver. Thankfully, I'm not sure who that was, but can we give him a round of applause in the chat there? Big thumbs up to that one. Whoever did that, thank you so much. I didn't see it, but yeah, it got him out of the race, and we eventually caught up to P1. Now, I thought this was worse than this was when we were actually racing. Actually, this wasn't that bad. We go for the overtake, and I think this was pretty fair when you watch it back on this footage here. It was, he maybe could have left a little bit of space on the exit, but yeah, I think this was all good. This was just racing. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to get in these type of cars. So we brake pretty much at the braking point. He brakes really, really late, so I have to avoid turning in and not turn in on the entry point, because we would have obviously blocked him. And he could have gave a little bit more space on the exit, but I don't think it was that bad. And yeah, I think that was all good. So reasonable move. Actually, he braked late and slowed the car down, so credit to him for actually getting it slowed down in time to stop it without running wide. He did squeeze us a bit, but like I say, this is the kind of racing you're going to get in these cars, and that's acceptable. That kind of stuff is acceptable. I think it could have been a bit better in terms of space, but yeah, I think that's touring car racing. You're going to get that. And then we make a massive mistake. We almost lost the rear trying to get a bit of rotation into that corner, and that is pretty much our race over for this second attempt at getting a clean race. So again, we haven't managed to get a clean race in. We managed to finish P2, which is no embarrassment, and we're going to go again and see if we can get one third time lucky. Can we manage to get a clean race in? So starting off, can we get a clean turn 1? Same drivers again. We've got P3 back in this lobby. Some drivers that were causing chaos in the previous races. Will they cause it in this one? And again, we come into turn 1, and I'm not sure if we're about to see a miracle. That is a standing start, clean, in road cars on Daily Race A. Is this race actually going to be the clean race? Again, this we're not going to jump the gun here. What about turn 2? Into turn 2, car behind brakes early. We take the inside line, and it's all looking very nice at the moment. So far, so good. We've got a clean start to a Daily Race A. So 1 out of 3 so far has started clean. However, is this race going to remain clean? That is the question. What do we think? Probably not. So into the braking zone, we go up the inside, and we take that position from P6. Nice clean move there. He gives us space. We give him space. Great to see. Racing. That's what we want. Good racing on Daily Race A. But however, you can see who's in front of us. It's only a matter of time before this driver in P4 is going to try and cause some form of chaos. You can see he's already weaving around and into the braking zones. Is he going to do anything here? He actually doesn't. He actually probably was thinking about taking out a driver in front of him, but thought maybe I'll wait for a bit. We'll see how this goes. We've got a bit of a gap to P6. We're going to go down the left-hand side. Can we go around the outside of this driver? Probably not, but we see he goes a little bit wide. We're going to squeeze up the inside there, give him space on the left-hand side, and see if we can work a move on him. So he's now got the inside line. We're going to try and cut back on him again, but yeah, that's not going to work. However, we get a nice run on him here because he's in the wrong gear, but he's going to block that one off. So we decide to bail out of that because it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. And then a few drivers go for a move up the inside. Actually, quite a good move by that Italian driver. However, he got a bit of a drift going. That's going to lose him a lot of momentum on the exit because he's in the wrong gear, and we managed to get back past him. So up into P5. And now we're going to go back for a move on this black Subaru in front of us. He clearly didn't get a very good exit from the corner. We're going to go for a little bit of a fake. So we're going to go to the left and then go back up. So you can see he starts going left and then he sees us going to the right and then blocks that off a double defending move. Pretty predictable. And again, you can see he lifts early there. I see that. We brake and just try and leave this open on the inside because I know what's going to happen. And again, keep your eye on him. He just deliberately flicks the car and floors it and puts you off the track. He does it to everyone on every corner. It's getting really frustrating now. This is 3 races in a row where this driver has just had no respect for anyone else on the track, and it's quite annoying to say the least. But will we manage to get the better of him eventually? Who knows? Let's see if we can get round him here. You can see the Italian driver's going to try and go round him, but you can see what that black Subaru does. He just accelerates, risks putting him up wide, and you can see that the silver Subaru actually backs out of it. Good racing here with the blue Subaru to our right. He actually lifted off the throttle a bit there. He goes wide there. We give him space. We manage to get back ahead of him. So there is good racing to be had. However, behind us, it looks like there's a bit of contact between them two, and it looks like they start barging into each other a bit, but nothing too bad. A little bit of side contact, a bit of touring car racing, we call it. And now into the braking zone. But keep an eye on behind us now. I nearly got absolutely wiped out here. But again, good to see. Again, credit to that. I don't know who that was in that black Subaru, but they saw they were going to wipe into the back of us and bailed out of the corner instead of trying to turn into the corner and then just think, well, I want to keep my race going. They decided to pretty much ruin their own race to avoid contact, and I always like seeing that. It's great to see, and credit to that driver for that, sacrificing his own race to make sure he doesn't ruin other races. That's always great to see. So we've got IDAS with a penalty up there, but again, keep your eye on this black Subaru. He's going to go for a savage send up the inside. He saw the opportunity and he takes that little bit of a hit on the side of the car to gain a position. So pointless really, because IDAS had a penalty there, so he was always going to get that position. And again, are we going to see more chaos with these two in front of us? So again, P3's on the left, P4 lifts early. Is he then going to run in wide on this corner? Does he do his usual? Is he going to accelerate? Yes, he's going to accelerate and just make sure that no one can go around that outside. It's really, really frustrating. I think P4 actually didn't even bother to try that. I think he knew that what was going to happen there. Probably predicted he was going to get run wide and didn't even bother accelerating maximum. So yeah, I don't think he even really made an attempt at that because it was predictable what was going to happen. So this is getting really frustrating now, and if someone's going to keep doing this, eventually I'm going to get annoyed with them and I'm going to just try and end it, because we had it with Kimi the other day in the race where he just kept on blocking us and blocking us and blocking us at Interlagos, ruining other people's races, and in the end we had enough. And that's going to happen with this driver as well. So as we come down the inside here, have a little look on the inside. Can't really go for a move there. We're a bit far back. We could have a little look up the inside there, but decide to go to the left. And again, just keep your eye on that black Subaru. Is he going to run into the side of P3? He is. He's going to do the same thing yet again. I've lost count now of how many incidents this guy has had, and the lack of penalty system that's working, to be honest. We're probably over 10. Maybe on to 15 incidents with him at the moment. Maybe someone wants to go back and count the amount of incidents that that guy has caused or been involved with and let us know in the comment section. That could be interesting. How many incidents was he involved with? So again, will the P4 go for the move? No, because P3 is going to completely cut him off and try and block him on the apex. And now this was it for me. I had had enough of this driver, and I thought he needs to be stopped because he's ruining the races. We can't even race with him on here. P4 is going to go down the left of him and try and get that position. We're going to go to the right and we're going to just take a swipe at his back because I'd had enough of him. And we managed to hit him again, and we managed to get past him, lose him a bit of momentum on the straight. Now, we did have a little incident at the end of the straight where we lost control of the car, but we managed to keep it going and stay ahead of him. And you can see he's way behind us, 8 seconds behind us. So we got rid of him and at least could race for the remainder of that race and come home with the fastest lap right on the last lap of 58.0, which was actually a pretty decent lap. But again, there's a big Problem with these daily race A's. Is it time that they brought SR back, even DR back into these races? Do they need to look at the penalty system? I want you all to let me know in the comment section what you think, because my personal opinion is that daily race A's can be really, really fun. They actually have some pretty good combos on there for good racing, but a lot of the drivers are ruining that at the moment. So yeah, let me know in the comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. I'll be back soon. Thanks again for watching, everyone.